Yo, this is how I make beautiful beats like maajins, like those others. I play the full beat before I break it down, and I'll break down each sound and like how I got to everything. Yeah, this is the full beat. So yeah, that's basically the full beat, and I'll get straight into it. 137 BPM, which is slower than what I've been making lately. Um, and I went into SRX keyboards for all these sounds. First off, got this techno synth and laid this down. Just repeated chords, and then I added some notes in between, and this is more of like a pad type of sound, but it's under a techno synth. And really, it's more fast paced since it's the same chords over and over again, like spammed like this, and the notes in between kind of just help like give difference to everything going on, but it's nothing crazy on that. Second sound, I got this sparkly pulsator, which I like to use this certain sound a lot in a lot of my beats. SRX keyboards, all of the Roland synths have a lot of good like pulsators and techno synths and stuff like that. So I went in and I copied over the chords without the in between notes, and then this is what it sounds like. So not really too much to explain on that one. Oh, and let's go over the mixing. I just use an EQ that cuts out the lows, and then a reverb also the melody, and then sometimes I'll go in and manually like do delay, add a delay. But other than that, I kind of keep the mix fairly simple. Just tweaking out reverb and stuff like that. Reverb and EQ at the low gives for the bass. Okay, I think my shit's back, but I grabbed this string sound out of SRX again, obviously, and I laid down these higher strings. Okay, then I went into SRX for all the sounds. I grabbed this soft lead and I laid this down. And this kind of just like helps accent the entire beat because it is a lot of not ambient stuff going on, but just more like pads and synth and strings. So I kind of used that to give some variation. And I went and I grabbed this keyboard sound and I laid this down. Just more stabby, kind of plucky-ish sound. Doesn't really do anything, just gives like more of an accent to the beat. Add this bell. Plays like that the entire time. Once again, just adding something on for the accent, and then lastly, I grabbed this piano that kind of helps with the entire beat. And that sounds really, really good with everything. So to play the entire melody, this is what everything sounds like. Oh. Yeah. Moving on to the drums. I'll just play the full drums and then break them down. obviously 3 different 808s, and other than that, everything is fairly simple. Got I'll break down each 808 first. With the first one, with all of them, really, I was just following the notes in the scale and try to make them just as catchy as possible. So here's the first one. Nothing too crazy with that one. And then the second one that comes in is like this. Yeah, nothing too crazy. And then the last one is like this, which is more complex, but really just follows the same notes as the other two and plays them like in a different pattern, obviously. And then moving on, the other drums, normal clap, and then more of a spammy hi-hat, just like to give more bounce to the beat. Sounds really good. And then there's a little reverb on that clap that you can hear, and then on the 808s, I boosted the bass a little bit and took a little bit of the sub out in the EQ. And if you don't know what that means, then basically this is what I did. This is all that I did to give it more of a hit, like you can hear it in the final mix, but you also don't it doesn't clip anything or sound too distorted. Open hat that plays like this, and then more of a spammy snare, so I'll play those both together. So yeah, and then the snare really just plays like a lot. And to really explain that, I don't know, I just was placing them down and they sounded good when I played them more. Rather than adding a lot of different sounds, just playing these ones more frequently and the beat kind of helped me out. And then I added a triangle that plays every beat. And then with the arrangement on everything, I didn't want anything playing too much. But I also wanted to catch the listener, so I played the lead at the start and then I switched it to the piano. And then I played everything together, and then started just cutting things out frequently. Had a moment right here where it was just the melody. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Cut out the drums in certain parts, like right here, where I'm not playing the open hat snare and the triangle. And then the last thing I can show is the master, which is fresh air, these settings, which fresh air gives like just reverb to the beat if you don't know what that plugin does yet. And makes it more like crisp and clear, not really reverb, just makes it crisp and clear. Soft clipper with these settings, turn it up all the way. A limiter that turns it down a little bit, or that turns the gain down a little bit to stop from soft clipping, and then to stop from clipping, and then a general purpose tool that I turned all the way down on a multi-band compressor. And that's pretty much it for that entire beat. Obviously I stuttered my tag at the start, if that makes sense, or if that is important. And yeah. So yeah, that's the full beat. Yeah.